Alright, hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, City of Electrons. So in this video, we are going to deal with this control system basics. Of course, that's under the course Control Engineering 1. So the basic idea of control system has to do with automation. Automation, like that's you do not have to carry out a task manually. Okay, it's automated. That is, you make the connections. Okay, you make the connections and then the program for that connection, and the given task is carried out without you actively taking the actions. Okay, so it's like giving commands to a machine, of course with the required connection and things like that. So a control system is a collection of devices or systems that manages, command and direct the behavior of other systems. That is what this is trying to point out. Look at this. Manages what? Commands and directs behavior. Here's what you should bear in mind. That a control system manages command. This command is from you. Okay, I want the system to behave like this. Now just imagine a car. Okay, self-drive cars, automatic self-drive. So imagine a car. This may not be a nice drawing, but just imagine a car. Funny car. Where is the front? Okay, whichever side. So so imagine this is a car, and then you decide that, and let's say this is the track. Okay, this is the road. Oh boy, this road there. So you have to go this way, okay, and then go this way. So of course, imagine this is just the path, okay, and maybe you have some buildings here, another building here, one building here, and different buildings like that. Then let's say go this way and then go this way. Funny road. Okay, now if this is a car, or being a car, and you say, and you don't want to drive, like you want this to drive itself, self-drive cars, now you can program it saying that, and make your connections, give it the instruction that it should drive at the speed of, at a given speed, and it should cover a distance of, let's just say 50 kilometers. Okay, and once you get to 50 kilometers, it should turn right and then drive, let's say 15 kilometers and then turn so degree left, so degrees right. Okay, so you just program, and that setting is for this particular route. Okay, and when you set the machine to carry out that instruction, it will do exactly what you have said. It will do exactly what you have said. The problem with that is, what if on the way there is an obstacle? Okay, if there's an obstacle on the way, the problem is that it has no consideration of that obstacle, so it's going to hit it. Okay, it's going to hit that obstacle. Now that is the issue with open loop system. What I just explained is the open loop system. So let's just mention the different types, okay, so that I'll come back to this example and then show you what I'm talking about. But we understand that a control system is a collection of devices or systems that manages what? Commands. Like you see the commands I give. So distance, move this. So that distance, that kind of thing. So it manages our command and direct the behavior of other system. Okay, so inside this is a control system that works this entire system. Okay, of course that brings the idea of embedded systems, but let's just focus on what you are talking about in this video: basic control system or control system basics. So now there are three components in control system. One is the sensor, which detects a change. However, this is common with feedback. Then the other one is for controller, it uses algorithms to analyze change and make decision. And the third one is actuator. This one executes decision, executes controller's decision. Okay, so main thing, like I said, the main thing we are going to deal with in this video, or we are dealing with already, is open loop system and closed loop system. The closed loop system is also known as feedback loop. Okay, now these are the two systems. So if I say OLCS, you know what we mean this. If I say CLCS, you know we mean this. Now, for the open loop control system, is a control system in which a controlled signal is considered as input and sent to the system, and the system responds without considering the output. Exactly what I just explained here. That is, we've given the commands to the system that this is how you should behave. Okay, now when that system takes in that command as inputs, it takes in that command as what? Inputs. Look at it here. System in which a control signal is considered as input. So that's the input. Our command is the input signal to the system. So when it acts on this on that our command without considering the output, it receives only the inputs and no output is considered. So once it gets here and our instruction says turn right, it turns right. If there's an obstacle, that wasn't considered in our calculation, and this obstacle will not be considered, so it will hit it. But in our closed loop system, in the closed loop control system, a closed loop control system is a system that checks its output and adjusts its input to stay on target. Now, for the closed loop, if we run the system using a closed loop, when it runs to this point, turn right, yes, it turns right. When it gets to this point, it receives this output as input also, meaning it has a sensor. It has a sensor which senses, am I in the is there an obstacle? Is there something in front? Yes, there's something in front. Then that thing will also be considered as what? Input. So of course it will be part of your programming that if there is something like this, then you have to take another decision. So just like the components we added here, sensor, it dictates change. So you can see this diagram right here, that in our open loop system, we have input. The controller works with the inputs, and then that our controlled process, which is the controlled inputs now, will give us an output. Done. That's it. Done. But for closed loop system, our input is considered, yes, but the output is also considered, like the car example I gave. So when we receive the input, of course the controller works with that, and then we have a controlled process. So that controlled process gives us output. So that output is also considered because we have a sensor in the closed loop system, which is the feedback system. That sensor senses the output and takes that output as input. So we now have two inputs: input, which is input, and input, which is the previous output, or let me just say output. Okay, so this is just the basic idea. There is more to this, but it's just the basic idea. So the last part of this video, we'll just talk about the properties of open loop and then feedback loop. Okay, so I think this feedback loop will come in handy because feedback loop is kind of, I think it should be the most used because so for open loop, yes, it has no feedback mechanism. That's obvious. Closed loop or feedback loop, it has a feedback mechanism. That's our sensor. Then for open loop, the design is just simple and straightforward. In and out, done. For closed loop, it's kind of complex. Okay. Then for open loop, since the design is simple, it means it will be less expensive. For closed loop, since we have a complex design, it will be what? More expensive. I didn't add that here. Okay, I did. It's more expensive to build compared to the open loop system. And then for the open loop, since it's just in and out, the response is faster. I believe we'll get that. Since it's just in and out, the response is faster. But for okay, I didn't put that here. But anyhow, we know this guy, the output will be, or the response will be less. It will take more time. Sometimes it does, okay, compared to this guy. But I didn't add that here anyway. You can see browse more properties of feedback loop and then open loop system. Okay, so more on the open loop. It has fixed outputs. The output is fixed. Whether there is an obstacle or something, as in the output is fixed. But for this guy, feedback, the output is flexible and it's adaptable. That's adaptability. And then you can predict the output for open loop. You can predict it. This guy is flexible. And then no adaptability for this open loop system. So yeah, I think this is all we'll talk about in this video. So we just talked about the basic idea of control system, what's an open loop and what's a closed loop, and the properties of each of them. Of course, being that this is just a student review, you can still go, in fact, it's advisable you go and browse more about this, check out our YouTube videos, and of course leave comments in the comment section. Oh no, this not this not that, this not that, you can do this like this, you can take this view, you can take this option. Comment section. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, and like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.